All right, it is currently, as you can see, it's Thursday, April 24th, 2025 at 6:49 p.m. This is a visual. I want to give a video and create one, and this is documentation that is providing a visual example of what it is that I'm describing regarding what is also simultaneously occurring. I'm being gang stalked in relevant position. The entity is stalking me with light, impossible light activity, light that is entirely supernaturally occurring. And this is something that which the ordinary target individual lacking evidence to prove that you're subject to such conduct while around people who are targeting you in very malicious and demonic means, which is also inherently designed to psychologically torture the person who is subject to it. You are criminally defamed. It's defamation, which is serving the criminal pattern of conduct in order to malign your character and falsely depict the targeted individual as one that's suffering from some mental illness, as opposed to the government being exposed for engaging in domestic terrorism and a system of psychological torture, as I have termed it, federal group stalking and monitoring. This is ongoing surveillance that's happening on the internet, and this is documentation which is exposing how YouTube is a third party. YouTube is a third party engaging in the pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, where the United States is maintaining surveillance on the internet via all of our communication devices. As I remain subject to the system, as the entity is seeking to obstruct justice and conceal that which clearly proves that they are not only gang stalking, but they are engaging in a system of gang stalking everywhere through everyone, and the fact that it's demonic. And they are very specifically of the condition of demon possession in doing so. Okay, the entity is engaged in this, and it's occurring online. And while I'm speaking to it on the podcast, which is, again, this is my playlist maintaining the updated podcasts as I publish them, because the entity is engaged in monitoring on the internet. And this is where I am currently uploading the podcast, which is currently publishing, and I'm documenting as it changes. I have documented the entity removing the podcast. Once I render it public, as you can see, it's designated to be seen publicly. While it is uploading, all of my episodes are currently uploading, and that's going to take time. The entity has engaged in documented acts of obstruction by removing it and changing it, controlling the use of my channel, which is on a third-party facility and venue on the internet, where the government is engaging in surveillance and suppression of evidence while it's still gang stalking me. So still trying to murder me, still trying to psychologically torture me while concealing the evidence about it on the internet. Well, they are also engaging in the following, which is the substance, the purpose of this video. I'm going to show you this is my YouTube channel, where I am publishing the body of evidence against the state of California, and I am also exposing what is relevant, how the entity is engaging in what is creative means of obstruction of justice, where the video shorts, where you can see here the reference to other video related content. This is the whole purpose of what YouTube creates the platform to use, while I use it for purposes of showing you what is stalking as an entity in a specific environment. I'm showing you the difference where the entity is interfering by manipulation of the platform to conceal what would be otherwise a very clearly shown pattern, which is also very disturbing. Evidence of a son remaining, like you're seeing at Woodside Senior Apartments, like you're seeing in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, and the entity is protecting the gang stalkers, protecting the sex offenders, protecting the demon possessed, who are out here roaming around, psychopaths on the loose, and that is not hyperbole. Gang stalking and engaging what is living their lives without an appropriate level, identifying them as ticking time bombs that are capable of engaging in any manner of harm beyond what is gang stalking me, and it being concealed by the state. Okay, this is the P.O.C. on the venue of the internet, and so I selected the video. In particular, I'm talking about gang stalking by the state actor Estelle and Kennedy, and while I'm at it, let me just go ahead and show you right now. Estelle and Kennedy is a documented gang stalker, a state actor engaging in what is theft of my property and the unlawful denial of justice that I am entitled to under the existing rules of the court, while the entity that's gang stalking is exercising authority it does not actually have under the law, while it's exposed as keeping me under surveillance, gang stalking me. And then as I prosecute in the court, which is nothing other than a means of documentation, because the court is not in any actual place of jurisdiction over me or over my property. Nevertheless, documentation as I prosecuted the case and exposed how the entity is engaging in what is gang stalking in the means of criminally misusing licensure. California bar members engaging in the P.O.C. in the courts. Kimberly Applewood engaged in the kidnapping of what is the pattern of conduct. Not a coincidence. She's engaged in this kidnapping, and the people of the state v. Spencer, Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. Kimberly Applewood is engaged in a kidnapping. She's also engaged in what is theft of my property. This is a criminal act that I documented while I initiated my civil case against not what is Bill and Wags. That's how the case caption, but this is a case against the people of the state, which is a case against the entity itself that stole my property, exercising fictitious authority under the law. Gang stalking by the Ontario Police Department, the City of Ontario, is underway the entire time. And the entity that is gang stalking through Danielle Katura Little, California bar number 239784. She is a gang stalker not only by criminally using her bar license to engage in what is exercising authority you do not have under the law, facilitating federal group stalking and monitoring where the entity stole my car, and then unlawfully denied relief that I am entitled to under the California rules of court, where the entity refused to respond timely, in a timely manner, to my summons and my case that I brought against it in the court. This is published on the YouTube channel. Again, this is the P.O.C.wordpress.com. This is relevant to what is Danielle Couture Little is indeed also a gang stalker, while I'm documenting the law office itself as a facilitating venue. This is documentation where the entity seeks to protect the gang stalkers, protect the one that stole my property, and everything inside of my vehicle was stolen. All the clothes that I owned. My school degrees, my college degree, my law degree, those things that you can't replace. I can't go to another store and buy another law degree, which I earned when I walked across, even though they were gang stalking me at Whittier Law School. But that was my Juris Doctor that I earned. It was stolen by the entity. The entity stole not only my vehicle, but everything inside of my vehicle, items that I bought in Europe when I lived abroad, when I traveled abroad, items that cannot be replaced, items that I've had since I was a child, and the entity stole it. The entity engaged in what is all manner of wicked, weird conduct, worshiping Satan with it, but nonetheless, this is the entity that is gang stalking, stealing property, as Danielle Couture Little is documented engaging in, and also Danielle Couture Little's office is a facilitating venue, which is further confirmation regarding what I've already exposed about the entity that is gang stalking at Woodside Senior Apartments as well, while I access this video documentation. This is what's relevant to this video, and on YouTube, which is a facilitating venue where the entity is engaging in the ongoing systematic suppression of evidence. The entity is engaging in what is protecting the entity. There is no legitimate investigation underway under such circumstances. There is nothing other than the pattern of conduct underway being facilitated at that. All right. So the entity is in doing so, and this is what is relevant with regard to the use of short videos, which, as you can see here, provide what is a means where you can add video content that is related. This is the whole purpose of what YouTube has created. But when I am using the platform for purposes of exposing a demonic system that's underway in the United States, which is also criminal conduct, exposing those that are masquerading as private citizens when they're actually state actors engaging in the P.O.C., that's where the entity is engaging in what is interfering with the ability to see what is directly related content showing evidence of a fake son over a law office, the same law office that engaged in what is criminally misusing a bar license to steal property and unlawfully deny legal relief to which I am entitled to, while they are maintaining what is the elements of monitoring gang stalking and also engaging what is surveillance on the venue of the internet, online, and via communication devices. This is what's relevant with regard to the obstruction evidence on the venue of what is YouTube online, where the evidence is being monitored, and the entity is monitoring right now in real time in the specific environment inside of the same apartment where Engineer Light was scanning inside of the apartment as I access this very video content that I'm going to review right now. It is the video of the law office Estelle and Kennedy, the unprofessional law office that is documented as a facilitating venue where the fake son is over me, and that's what you're going to see here. Oopsie, sorry. That's what you're going to see here, so let's go ahead and review the video.
Falling with his fake son and molesting with directed light. This is P.O.C. 7WFR033. This is called...
This is Estelle and Kennedy that's in relevant position. This is a facilitating venue, and everything that's happening under this fake sun, none of this is sunlight, nor is this the natural environment. This is where the entity is following around the supernatural occurrence of stalking with an entire environment, which is demonic. The environment is demonic, and all the behavior is demonic, and it's accomplishing surveillance. It is the system of gang stalking, and it's happening at at Estelle and Kennedy's law office. This is the same government actors, and they're government actors because they are criminally using California bar licensure to engage in facilitation of the P.O.C. All right, and they engage in what's facilitating theft by the entity. That is still gang stalking to date, by the way. All right, this is where the entity has the fake son over me, and it is juxtaposed with the fake son over me in Ontario. And I'm documenting it not only over me in Ontario at the same time, which is impossible to be the case, but it's also remaining over me as the documentation shows and interfering with what is the ordinary use of the videos on YouTube, where you're capable of accessing the related content, but not so when the entity is protecting gang stalking attorneys in the state of California.
7YED056. She's the one molesting with directed light. License 7MFT710, and this is stalking in the path. He's maintaining presence on the street where the state is molesting with directed light under the fake sun, and molesting while they're making U-turns, light underneath the covered walkway of the Dance Dynamics onto the top of the structure. And the directed light that covers this sidewalk over here while they're opening and closing Lucky's Coffee Roaster's door, 7NLC241. This is what the people...
And remember, all the videos that I capture are organized by playlist. So what I'm referencing are videos that I previously captured moments earlier. So this video is not the first video that I captured on October 9, 2021. There's a playlist. Upland Police Department are gang stalking at Lucky's Coffee Roasters, molesting me with engineered light while they open a door. That's not the product of sunlight. The police department is gang stalking. I continuously walk down the street. Estelle and Kennedy is gang stalking. The facilitating venue is engaged in that P.O.C. in the specific environment, directly juxtaposed with what is keeping a fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments from sunrise until sunset, over me in Los Angeles from sunrise until sunset, where LAPD is gang stalking like the Ontario Police, like the Upland Police. It is the P.O.C. and the entity is obstructing justice, keeping the public from being able to see a clear pattern of what is the specific environment, the supernatural, the demon-possessed that are stalking as one under what is indeed a fake sun.
State engaging. All right, this is P.O.C. It's maintenance of presence. And let me be clear, Satan doesn't have to look at you or talk to you. He's under the fake sun. He's maintaining presence. 53019H3. I just want to make sure I get that. That's P.O.C. Just sitting in his...
So this is the fake sun as I'm documenting it at 8:38 a.m. This is the significance of that, which you can see here. Right over me as I am documenting crossing a path, light activity, impossible light activity, and the maintenance of all the elements, in other words, in Upland, California. And the address is at Estelle and Kennedy's office, 367 North 2nd Avenue in Upland, California. Now, as you select the video, like YouTube has the function of the convenience of looking at related content, that's what you do. And the significance of this is that this is a short video. It's 1 minute and 28 seconds. However, it's not going to surface for the ignorant viewer, the person that doesn't know about gang stalking, the person that doesn't know anything about a fake son, doesn't know anything about the context about what I'm talking about. And prosecuting and recognizing the P.O.C., the demented behaviors of demons, is understood under the totality of circumstances. The demon-possessed, the corrupt government is... I don't want to say profiting, yes, profiting, but capitalizing off of that, and you are necessarily looking at bits and pieces that are taken out in order to keep concealed what the entity is doing. But I'm going to show you what is the purpose of not providing what is a short video where you could see additionally related content to this video, which is in this form on purpose, and it is outside of how YouTube's website functions, because this is a short video.
From being over Center Ice Arena, which is across the street over there, where Union Pacific is stalking with audible activity. All right, where the state is hovering over the roof of that building in order to create audible activity, and the state's fake sun is in alignment. That's called light activity under the fake sun, and that's also magnified. It's magnified inside. That's directed light as she opens the door and closes. That's demonic activity, 8FSE040, and that's Andy's Burgers engaging in that. And this is the fake sun.
That is over me at the same time in Ontario, California, same time of year. Analysis applies. This is documented on October 9, 2021 at 8:38 a.m. at what is 310 East Holt Boulevard in Ontario. This is, again, happening while I am remaining and documenting what is remaining directly in the same manner in Upland, California at the Estelle and Kennedy Law Office. This is, again, the P.O.C. as you're recognizing what is impossible to coexist at the same time. What is also impossible is that the entity is not only under the fake sun at the same time, but this fake sun is documented remaining over the same exact address in the evening, which is what YouTube does not want you to see, while a short video is given to you in what is essentially the long form. It's in the format that it is when it's a video that's over 3 minutes long, and that precludes you from being able to see the related video content. This is by design, okay? This is the entity that is indeed gang stalking. Both of these videos are short videos, and it should be a chain of videos related like this. Pay attention. This is the POC. This is how the video content is supposed to perform.
Here's the state's fake son meeting me as I am at the, remaining present over me as I approach the entrance. It's 10:39 a.m. And this is where the state is captured. I'm capturing hours later. That's what I showed you yesterday. It remains over the venue. And not only that, that's that which is the state's direct light. Not only is the actual sun not going to remain over a venue, the literal ceiling of the venue, and that is directed light that you're looking, that is not what the sun would actually be engaging and aiming inside. You're looking at what the state is doing with its directed light. And you're also paying attention to the obvious. The state is maintaining its fake sun where I am, and impossible to coexist with ever being in, for example, the latest example in Lancaster, California. Remaining through the window as I'm traveling that route to get to Los Angeles County.
Okay, again, I'm referencing video documentation where you have to pay attention to the totality of facts and understanding the significance of the environment and the relevance of that environment around me while I'm documenting what is conspicuous stalking of an entity that is very demented, engaging what is surveillance that's ongoing in the United States, and it's also demonic. That's what I'm talking about here. It's captured in a short video, which is, this video is 1 minute and 3 seconds. Its related content is this video here, which is also a short video.
And here's the directed light in the computer lab.
And this is directly opposite of what's happening with these two videos here. These are both short videos. You click on it.
All right, I just want to show you what is.
And when it comes in this long form, you're not able to see the related content, where the entity is picking and choosing what videos you are able to recognize this pattern of stalking with the fake sun based on what the entity is, again, cherry picking regarding what it is that you will be able to recognize, and those whom the entity wants to protect. Protecting gang stalkers who practice law.
Just sitting in his.
While targeting me. I practice law and the entity was targeting me, protecting the gang stalkers that practice law and criminally misuse their California bar licensure to do so. Both the gang stalking judges and the gang stalking lawyers who engaged in theft of my property. As I documented in what is Erica Loren Spencer v. Bill and Wags, which is the prosecution of the state of California that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, stole my car with the Ontario Police Department after defacing it, claiming that it's abandoned when they're gang stalking me on a daily basis using helicopters and airplanes, knowing exactly who I am and where I'm at while I'm documenting the entity in that specific environment while I am in my vehicle. This is where the entity is seeking to obstruct justice, concealing the evidence of a fake son outside of a law office relevant to the law office regarding attorneys in that office that engaged in theft of property, the criminal misuse of California bar licensure, which is the basis for not only prison, but basis to lose your California bar license permanently. Okay, this is the entity that's engaging in that, and you're looking at a clear distinction between the same video content, shorts, less than 3 minutes, but yet two videos treated differently on the platform, and it's relevant regarding I'm exposing the government, and I'm exposing the government that's gang stalking with the population. The entity is engaged in all manner of suppression efforts. That's what's relevant here when you're looking at that. So I want you to see a chain of events. So you see I'm clicking on what is another short video, and this is the format that it's supposed to show up in.
This is not light that's going to occur through the windows. Sunlight is not shooting like a laser. State's fake sun now over the parking lot. That's not over the venue.
All right, so you can see, and you can click on another video.
Sure.
And that's another short video. This is how the content is supposed to generate, and you can clearly click on a link of related content. And with regard to documentation of a fake son, documentation of a gang stalking entity, particularly using the police departments and the fire departments and whatnot, where you are able to very vividly see a pattern as that related content is conveniently right here at the bottom. The entity is engaging in what is deviating from the operation, the basic operation of the platform, in order to preclude you from being able to access that information. That's what's significant about this video. Now, this is where you're able to see what is the benefit of such a chain of related content.
Strip of directed light running across my.
I am showing you the pattern of conduct. The fake sun is over me at the entrance of the Upland Public Library at the same time of year, while I am in the window of the Fontana Lewis Library. That's a very exclusive amount of sky space at the same time of year. I'm in Ontario at Fern Avenue and G Street at the same time of year. Analysis also applies, and this is speaking to what is an ongoing chain of evidence as you are able to look at a clear pattern in a supernatural environment. This is what the entity wants to avoid, and it's relevant to who the entity is protecting. It is not a malfunction, it's not a mistake, it's not a failure. It is the pattern of conduct of obstruction of justice. The entity is trying to, well, by the way, this is a video that got 34 views. And for purposes of suppressing my evidence, understand 34 views is a lot, because contrary to what the demons who you hear monitoring me in the background, they don't place any comments on my website. The entity is suppressing the evidence. The entity is gang stalking me while I publish the evidence. And the entity is intentionally maintaining a level of concealing the evidence that is published on the venue of the internet while still obsessively monitoring and stalking. Okay, the entity is doing so with knowledge of the probative value of everything that I'm exposing about the environment and where demons are stalking in that environment. That's the significance of YouTube's platform not functioning in the way that it's designed. Okay, when it's designed is used to expose people like the people of the state of California and corrupt third parties like YouTube who are aiding in the surveillance system on the venue of the internet. All right, this is a third-party status is identified on the venue of the internet by facilitation. Anything that you're doing that's facilitating the P.O.C., that's a third party. And that's just a means whereby you can prosecute it and prove it with tangible evidence. But you need to understand, YouTube is in California. The demon-possessed are gang stalking. They work in the tech and the fields where the entity is relying on, for example, technology and social media on the venue of the internet. This is where surveillance is underway. Surveillance is thriving, and they're very much interested in keeping that, something that I'm exposing, speaking directly to, suppressed. Okay, that's why YouTube is not ignorantly engaging in a documented pattern of obstruction of justice. And how you prosecute that, how do you prosecute and prove, not based on intuitive knowledge, but based on tangible evidence, the fact that it is facilitating surveillance, which is committed in furtherance of murder and kidnapping. You're going to be prosecuted for that. All right, this is what YouTube is doing, and that's the significance of the state actor Daniela Couture Little, gang stalking and criminal misuse of her bar license while I'm documenting what is the P.O.C. outside of that law office where the people of the state are monitoring. And she's also gang stalking at the courthouse where she is misusing a bar license, engaging and facilitating the pattern of conduct. That's why the fake son is over me at that law office. And this is also why a means of suppression of that evidence is underway as you're looking at what is the evidence of the entity that is suppressing such access to a clearly identified pattern. Okay, so I want you to see this as you're looking at the fake son that's over me at what is the law office of Estelle and Kennedy in Upland, California. This is where the fake son,
all right, I just want to
at the same time is over me at the Andy's Burgers in Ontario, California. This is actually a short video, and so this is the form of the video that it's supposed to appear in so that you could easily see what is a related content showing you the significance of the fake son being over me at Estelle and Kennedy in Upland, California at the same time. Because at the same time, at this same address in Ontario where the son could not be over both venues at the same time in the manner it is over me at both venues at the same time, this is also where the fake son is documented in the evening at the same Andy's Burgers, showing what is gang stalking at a law office. A law office that is criminally misusing bar licensure to aid and facilitate the pattern of conduct like I documented in the case submitted against the state that is gang stalking, Erica Lorraine Spencer v. Bill and Wags. Case number CIVS 1930644, okay, initiated on October 11, 2019. This is the entity that is indeed very much engaged and interested in suppressing the identification of this environment that surrounds you, that is also supernatural. Okay, this is the P.O.C. where the fake son is at the same time as I'm documenting over me at Estelle and Kennedy's law office at 8:38 a.m. on October 9, 2021. Same time of year and same time of day. Analysis applies.
Serena, which is across the street over there, where Union Pacific is stalking with audible activity. All right, where the state is hovering over the roof of that building in order to create audible activity, and the state's fake sun is in alignment. That's called light activity under the fake sun, and that's also magnified. It's magnified inside. That's directed light as she opens the door and closes. That's demonic activity. 8FSE040, and that's Andy's Burgers engaging in that. And this is the fake.
All right, the fake sun that's directly over, clearly reflecting off of the vehicles in the parking lot. They're clearly driving under the shadow of the vehicles or speaking to the immediacy of the presence of the sun that is not over any law office in Upland. It's directly over me. And also the sun is not an ubiquitous, an object that's maintaining ubiquitous presence, moving over all of us at the same time in all manner of direction that we're all inevitably traveling throughout the country for the duration of the day, rising and setting over all of us. This is the totality of the facts that are documented with regard to prosecuting and understanding what is stalking under in an environment, stalking with light. Okay, it's entirely demonic, and surveillance is underway, and that's what's happening when the entity is seeking to conceal that by not providing the evidence in the form in which it ordinarily is, with regard to the short video forms where you can clearly click on related content at the same Andy's Burgers at 8:38 a.m. And here it is.
It is 4:32 p.m. This is B&G Plaza. Understand this is Andy's Burgers, the same location where the state's fake sun is over during the day and in the afternoon. And this is the state engaging in faking a sunset while aiming line on the exact same place. This is the pattern of conduct, okay? I took pictures of the state molesting me with light inside of Shiro's Liquor, all right? They're all touching together, criminal monitoring. Even when the state is playing peekaboo with its fake sun, they are still engaged in ongoing sexual violence, okay? The fake sun documentation is showing how the state is stalking with light because it's monitoring through all of these group stalkers, all these psychopaths, every single last one. And this is why you got all this light all over the place that is not from the sun. And they are in it all together. It's P.O.C. Understand?
This is the same Andy's Burgers that I'm documenting on what is October 9th at 8:38 in the morning. This is why you document, in order to capture this supernatural environment that, again, third parties on the venue of the internet want to keep concealed. And how are you keeping it concealed? Because it's still published online. However, the inability, it's very relevant with regard to related content and the abnormality of what is the short video not appearing in the form in which it should be, in order that an ignorant person, even the federal government, where you are blowing the whistle on the entity that's threatening your life, and the evidence is crucial to exposing the significance of how a system of public corruption conduct that's happening right in front of your face is speaking to what is under all circumstances terrorism, and it's also demonic, which is just another exacerbating aspect with regard to terrorism in the first place, where the government is stalking, and there are a bunch of demons under a fake sun that I document from 8:38 in the morning during daylight savings time and 4:32 in the evening outside of daylight savings time, which is irreconcilable regardless of daylight savings time, which is why you document Satan, who is a liar, who is also very corrupt and highly resourceful, seeking to conceal pivotal evidence by removing your ability to have easy access to that clearly recognized pattern through the short videos, where it should have been in that form, but it's not. And the reason that it's not is because you are able to very clearly see, and that's why it's in this form. When it's in this form, where it's in the format where the videos that are over 3 minutes are, it's preventing you from being able to see what is readily identifiable, easily accessible with regard to the pattern of conduct where...
It is 4:30.
With regard to the pattern of conduct where you're clicking on the link and you're easily accessing what is at the same exact address at a later time. That's the significance of what is YouTube's platform not operating in the way in which it was designed, and relevant to the evidence and the substance of what it is that I'm publishing on the internet. This is a pattern. All right, and so this is another example where the entity is gang stalking, as this video shows on October 24th, 2021 at 1:46 p.m. at the Fontana Lewis Library at what is, again, 8437 Sierra Avenue in Fontana, California. And you are looking at what is the fake sun at 1:46 p.m. over the top of my head. And the entity is, again, concealing evidence, while the video that comes up in a different form. And it's supposed to be a short video in the same form so that you can easily click on related content, which is how YouTube's platform is designed. Hold on.
You've shown it, and I'm in Palmdale, okay, 24 hours ago. That's called Crossing Path 5XUX030. And this is what they were doing. This is what I was documenting on the roads, Route 138, while the demon-possessed were stalking on a highway, while they were engaged in federal stalking. All right. It is 1:46 p.m.
All right. This is at the Fontana Lewis Library. The significance of understanding a vehicle that's driving by me. It is referred to as crossing path. You're just driving by and minding your business in a normal, natural environment. It is a pattern of conduct in the specific environment where supernatural conduct in a supernatural environment is underway. And it is accomplishing monitoring, which is gang stalking. It's demonic. That's the significance of video evidence that proves that, and being on a platform that's not performing that in the way in which it's designed to, which also happens to coincidentally keep the public from being able to easily identify and access that video documentation. Okay, this is the significance. This is at 1:46 p.m. This is a short video, and that's why you can click on this.
actually going to shoot.
And the video opens up in what is the long form videos that are longer than 3 minutes. This is not how YouTube's website is designed to operate. This is designed to preclude the public from seeing the video that is related to this video, where you will see the pattern where Fontana police are gang stalking under a fake sun. That's over me at 10:32 in the morning, like here, and over me at what is 1:46 in the afternoon at the same Fontana Lewis Library. This is my address where I'm at right now, Fontana Lewis, on 10:32 a.m., where you just saw the fake sun over me, a supernatural occurrence. That's what's giving context regarding everyone that's around me and what everyone is doing around me. They're stalking an engineered light under a fake sun and creating activity in doing so. And on the venue of the internet, while I'm publishing evidence about it, the entity is engaging in what is conduct, and the platform is behaving in ways outside of its normal functional design, creating what is easily accessible related content, and doing so in a manner that is barring your ability to very easily recognize that related content in order to obstruct justice. Okay? That's the significance.
Instead of taking a picture, I want you to see what is, first of all, the fake sun. Second of all, Fontana police monitoring. Third of all, this is directed light underneath the structure of the Steelworkers Auditorium. Third of all, here's my shadow here. Here is my shadow here, speaking to what the Fontana police are doing. Okay? I don't need that license plate. I'm going to prosecute Fontana police. They're engaging in terrorism and satanic activity. We're going to disband that police department, engaging in criminal conduct, and they are demon possessed. Here's my shadow here, and here is my shadow here. And I just want to be clear, the fake sun is here. There is no vantage point. That's called stalking with light. 8 UOB 099, terrorizing with...
And that's exactly what they're doing at 1:46 p.m. under an idle sun. That's a supernatural occurrence. The sun is not an idle, hovering star that doesn't move and remains over one building, as I'm documenting from 10:32 a.m. as you could just isolate it to these two videos, 10:32 a.m. until 1:46 p.m. as you are understanding, as I'm documenting and publishing the evidence of the pattern of conduct that's happening in this environment. That's supernatural, and everything that's happening in this supernatural environment is accomplishing the P.O.C. as I have exposed it. This is relevant to why YouTube's platform is not performing in the way that it's designed to perform. But if I was publishing evidence about dropping it like it's hot about the latest wigs and how to glue down your edges, and how to gyrate on men in some sexually explicit manner, that would be content that YouTube would not be interested in interfering with, and it would be performing in the exact manner that it's designed to, because the entity is not under any circumstances threatened by that, and it is not under any circumstances exposing parties like Estelle and Kennedy, an unprofessional law corporation engaged in what is gang stalking via the criminal misuse of California bar license. All right, and exposed as a state facility and venue where the evidence of it is being concealed by the improper and abnormal performance of YouTube's platform on the venue of the internet, which also happens to be the way in which evidence that's speaking to and exposing a prevalent and obvious supernatural pattern, it's being concealed thereby. Okay, so that's what's relevant about that. I want you to see, when you're looking at this video that comes up in long form, Fontana PD is gang stalking.
Fontana police, a demon stalking in the path with light, okay? And this is the impossibility of having the... You're suggesting that the sun is...
This is the same fake sun over the same exact address, the Fontana Lewis Library, but it's coming up in a video that's in long form. What YouTube is concealing is the long form video is actually a short video, and this is what you would have access to very easily. Going from, like you can see on this video here, where you can go through a chain of videos and easily identify
of what is
that pattern when you can click on one video after another. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is obstruction of justice in this manner, and the 10:32 a.m. video of Fontana PD gang stalking under the fake sun, the same fake sun that's over me at 1:46 in the afternoon at the same address. This is evidence speaking to how the creative means whereby the entity is obstructing justice, trying to conceal a bunch of demons that are monitoring in California, monitoring you in whatever state that you're in the United States, because we are under a specific environment. It's not the natural environment. That's what the entity is fearful of, and why YouTube's content, my content on YouTube is being obstructed from being capable of being readily identified with regard to related content. Okay, this is what's relevant.
Lewis Library and Technology Center in the city of Fontana. This is the state's light source. Alrighty, do you think that it has been over the Fontana Lewis Library remaining for the entire time? As I've already documented, while I'm here before this time and remaining after this time, no.
With regard to 10:32 a.m., that's what I'm referencing.
You're gonna shoot
I'm clearly there before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And like I'm documenting at 1:46 in the afternoon, where the Fontana Police Department is identified as the gang stalkers that they are. Those are gang stalkers that bear badges that are supposed to render them authority under the law, but which they actually don't have while they're engaging in surveillance, which we, the people, have never, and I don't mean the people of the state that are gang stalking, we, the American people, have never agreed to permit the government to keep us under surveillance. In fact, we have a document. It's kind of important. It's referred to as the state and federal constitutions, and we have rights to privacy and searches, etc., that outlaw what the Fontana Police Department is doing. And on a facilitating venue like YouTube, where its platform is not performing in the way that it's supposed to, in order that you are not
is 240
readily this evidence of stalking with light, which is relevant with regard to the documentation of stalking under a fake sun. That's the significance of the documentation that's being interfered with, while the videos are not performing in the way that they're supposed to. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show in this video and this screen recording. This is another example. The reason why this video I will give, because the entity is relying on the fact that you are always looking at the totality of circumstances. The demon possessed who work with illusions with regard to literally a fake sun. That's an illusion of the natural environment, and you can compare what I'm documenting in Ontario, California, with what's happening over you in the sky space. And I always use Florida. You can use Mississippi, Minnesota. You can use Washington State. You can use the state capital, Washington, D.C., because the sun and the natural environment is never anywhere over the president when he's holding these meetings, over the head of the FBI when they're holding these meetings outside on the lawn, and you're looking at the sun shining over them. What is shining over them while I'm documenting a fake sun remaining over me, as I have been since 2018? Evidence that's exposing what's happening in this country, and it's relevant to an unnatural environment. And where that pattern is very vividly seen in my content as I relate it with other videos that you can access, this is the significance of YouTube's platform not acting in the way that it's designed to perform. Okay, that's what's relevant about that. And it is unlawful and criminal acts of obstruction of justice, which YouTube is documented engaging in for years. And it's state action. It's state action. The entity is doing so in conformity to a pattern of conduct seeking to conceal surveillance that's happening in concert with the people of the state. That's what YouTube is. The people of the state are monitoring with the government, in the shoes of the government. That's the significance of gang stalking at an apartment complex under a fake sun, with that government that uses planes and helicopters at that. That's the significance of that. It's happening on the venue of the internet, and obstruction, suppression tactics like this, like I'm expounding upon in this video, are in conformity to that long documented P.O.C. Now in this video here, the significance is you're understanding what is stalking with light. It's happening day and night. Stalking with light, all manner of light, and it is very vividly seen when a fake sun remains over me, and all of them are together stalking with light. It's the same thing that's happening at nightfall. This is showing how the convenient use of what is the related content using short videos is significant, and it's also significant when they are not performing in the way that it's designed to perform on the platform, which is a means of concealing that clearly recognizable pattern on the venue of the internet where I'm exposing, and it's also protecting myself. The entity is still gang stalking. You can hear Tracy Banks in the background. She's monitoring. She is pacing like a psychopath. And this is, again, while I am publishing this evidence on the, well, I'm documenting right now. I will be publishing it online. And this is the same entity that is engaging what is stalking with light in the way in which I'm showing in video evidence, publishing it onto the venue of the internet.
I began recording video. They're stalking with the Fontana Police, molesting with light, license 5ZOY485. That vehicle is in directed light. And this is, again, my shadow is here. My shadow is right here. And this is Fontana Police that is group stalking in the path. This is demonic activity and terrorism while Fontana Police are engaging in federal stalking with the people of the state. Understand the significance of what is that group stalker following with a trash can, dragging it on the ground.
All right, again, I'm documenting in multiple ways. I'm maintaining a podcast, that's what I'm referring to, and I am taking pictures, and I'm speaking about everything that I'm documenting on an ongoing basis and what I'm previously documenting. So that's always the case. And the entity that's gang stalking is mindful of the fact that you are not aware of that, and is designed to piecemeal the information so that you're getting bits and pieces of it instead of what is all of the evidence as I provided it in a streamlined fashion, organized in its introduction to you, and made it as palatable as it can be with regard to the average unsophisticated viewer that has no idea about demonic activity, no idea about surveillance, and also clearly nothing about the specific environment I'm the first person ever speaking to and exposing it. And the entity is desperately seeking to conceal, and if they can't conceal it, so then they just harass me, such as what I'm documenting today via podcast, stalking with light inside of this apartment where Tracy Banks is pacing. She's pacing and monitoring right now while I'm capturing it, and this is the same apartment where the entity is monitoring online. And as I'm exposing this means of obstruction of justice, concealing evidence where the evidence of related content
that's all.
is not readily available to the public when it's given to you in long form, when it should be given to you in what is short form, so that you can easily click on the link and see what else is related.
This is Demon.
All right, this is the same pattern of stalking with light, and the Fontana police are crossing path, gang stalking with regard to knowledge of everything that I'm doing, including on my communication device. Now, you have a trail of videos while the entity is engaging in what is picking and choosing which videos to interfere with your easy access to related content as I provide it. The entity is, again, making a distinction with regard to the ignorant onlooker. And by ignorant, I'm not making any sort of denigrating reference to any person. You're ignorant because you don't know what I'm talking about. You're literally learning it as I'm breaking it down. That's what I mean by ignorant. That's all. Not the ignoramuses who are gang stalking to their own demise and they're going to prison and mental asylums. Okay? Not the ignoramuses that are gang stalking under a fake sun, clearly showing that they are highly unintelligent and they're predators who are psychopaths, gang stalking. I don't mean ignorant in that term. I mean, you clearly do not know. I'm explaining it in as basic terms as I possibly can in order to understand the intricacy and also the very simplicity where gang stalking is underway. It's both at the same time. Okay, now it gets intricate with regard to understanding how I am at the same time always legally analyzing, because you're going to prosecute public corruption. It's very demonic, and it's a public corruption amongst the population and the people, and they're engaging in a pattern. This is a pattern of stalking with light at nightfall. The entity is doing so while the trail of evidence creates that. So I want you to see this, and it's happening under the fake sun as well.
Stalking with lights. The Fontana Police Department doing the same thing, loitering at the street, starts driving the moment I start recording, and this is where the state is patrolling with helicopter right here. This is what I'm speaking of on my podcast, okay?
All right, so this is another video-related content. Appearing in the manner, playing in the manner where it is easily accessible, where you could easily see a trail, a pattern is recognizable in the way in which YouTube's platform is designed. Interfering with that is a means of obstructing justice so that you don't see that. Protecting gang stalkers like Estelle and Kennedy, okay? The gang stalkers who criminally misuse law licenses, California bar licensure, which is not used to engage in domestic terrorism. And you lose your license. You use your California bar license to gang stalk someone or facilitate it, you're losing it.
Southwest Airlines. This is the fake sun. This is the city of Fontana at Sierra Avenue and Arrow Boulevard. All right? And that is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, let me tell you, in the middle of the street, it is 3:28 p.m.
Okay, context is that at 3:28 p.m., the entity is keeping the fake sun over me. This is around the corner from the Fontana. I'm feet away from the Fontana Lewis Library. The entity has the fake sun over the Fontana Lewis Library, where I'm walking toward at 10:32 in the morning. This is the video of the entity gang stalking me en route to the Fontana Lewis Library, like I documented. Same time of your analysis applies at 3:27 in the afternoon. The fake sun that's going to be at the intersection of Arrow and Sierra Avenue is the same fake sun that's over the same location at 10:32 a.m. This is indeed Fontana police being documented as engaging in federal group stalking monitoring with the people of the state. The demons in traffic, the demons in all the buildings. Those buildings are businesses. Those buildings are homes. Those buildings are government buildings. The fire department, the Chamber of Commerce, the police department, the Fontana Lewis Library itself is San Bernardino County. That's a government building, and they're gang stalking under that specific environment. And on the venue of the internet, the evidence of it is a means of being concealed where the related content is not accessible to you in the way in which it's supposed to be, in conformity to the way in which YouTube has designed it. And it's protecting the Fontana Police Department.
All right, that's exactly what I documented, by the way. The state stalking me by airplane on September 12, 2019, while the state was engaging in federal stalking, in that which Thomas Garza disregarded because he's a group stalker, a demon-possessed group stalker engaging in facilitation. All right, that's exactly what I documented. That's exactly what they were doing. That's what I
and that's
right here, Fontana Police Department.
Yeah, that's the Fontana Police Department
fake sun.
Under the fake sun at 3:27 p.m. The next related content, very easily accessible when you click on it.
All right,
And you're able to very clearly see at the same time in an entirely different location. The two aren't happening at the same time. This is requiring that there's at least 10 different suns. While I'm in Ontario, while I'm in Fontana, that's not the sun that's maintaining that sort of presence in the way that I'm showing it. This is the P.O.C. and I'm documenting what is a method of suppressing evidence while I still remain subject to that pattern of conduct. Okay, that's an unlawful threat by the platform itself, and it's in conformity to the threats that the entity, which is the platform itself, YouTube, is posing while I'm subject to the P.O.C. in the form of concealing evidence in the way in which I've exposed the platform not performing in the way that it's designed. And this is showing what is over me at the intersection where Fontana and the people of the state, the Fontana Police Department, are gang stalking at Sierra and Arrow and Fontana. And this is over me in the parking lot in Fontana, California, I believe. No, this is... This is the significance of documentation. We can see exactly where we're at in Ontario at 1939 East 4th Street in Ontario, California. This is, again, the P.O.C. of documentation. Stalking with light is shown in the environment, and it's occurring both at day, during the day under the fake sun, and at nightfall. The entity that is, again, interfering with the ability to access your ability to easily access this pattern, which I've made palatable for the public to witness, is a method of obstruction of justice. Okay, it doesn't get any more simpler than that. Putting it on the YouTube platform and relating it to content. As you watch one video, you can click on another one and click on another one and click on another one and click on another one, and that's how you're able to see what is, oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's supernatural, and it's also supernatural while you're out there in Texas and you're looking at the sun that's remaining over you, because I know it's hot in Texas, and that's not the same sun that's remaining over me for the duration of the day at one building. And as I've also documented, as I travel from city to city, and as I've lived in an entirely different county, and it never left over me at that apartment building. I'm referencing the LAPD gang stalking at the Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, which is documentation in 2024. All right, this is significant with regard to what it is that I am exposing, and this is the P.O.C. My YouTube channel is the P.O.C. The website is on, again, where you can find it, the P.O.C. website, where everything is published. This is a criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it is practiced throughout the United States, and I am in California exposing it. This is the P.O.C. that is also exposing the podcast, which is on the website, which again, I suggest the entity is engaging in all manner of creative means of seeking to obstruct justice, trying to conceal your ability to easily identify the pattern that I have fully proven in the body of evidence, which is the P.O.C. And this is where you can easily access it here. Look everything under the look tab at the documentation of the United States government. And this is in concert with the population, the people of the state that you hear in the background right now, the people of the state that I've been documenting for years, since 2018. All right, and this is how this documentation is organized. YouTube is nothing but a third party showing how the people of the state, meaning surveillance, is underway throughout the United States, including on the venue of the internet, where no private speech is underway. It's not private speech, it's state speech. It's facilitating the pattern of conduct, and any unlawful means of facilitating murder and kidnapping by a corrupt, gang-stalking government is going to result in a prosecution of a federal nature. All right, this is the significance of the documentation. I just wanted to show this. This has been a screen recording on April 24, 2025 at 7:36 p.m. This is P.O.C.